Welcome, lords and ladies, back to the realm. I am your vibrant host, the Goat King, and today I present to you the 10 best talismans. At least, until I get my hands on Treasure Vault. These talismans are from the core rulebook and Secrets of Magic. There are a few criteria I used when organizing these rankings. First, I excluded talismans that replicate a class feat. These are often valuable talismans, but I just don't find them very exciting or interesting. Next, I wanted to focus on talismans that are both accessible, which bumped uncommon talismans down in the ranking, and remain useful for a large portion of the game. I gave a bonus to talismans that affect the way you play and decisions you make. In short, talismans you want to use. Finally, I left some room for wildcards, non-standard ways talismans may be used or affect the game. In number 10, we have the Mesmerizing Opal. This unassuming, level 2 talisman finds great utility in the hands of your most clever warriors. Fencer swashbucklers especially value the effects of this talisman as it improves their feints. In number 9, we have the Murderer's Knot. Disguised as a peace knot, this talisman causes persistent bleeding damage when used effectively. Rogues familiar with such attacks, rogues with the class feat Twist the Knife, find this talisman perpetually useful as its damage grows with their own. In number 8, we have the Eye of Apprehension. This Cyophaine stone looks much like a cat's eye and gives the fortune effect on a perception-based initiative roll. This talisman is almost indispensable once you reach 12th level and get access to it. In number 7, we have the Vanishing Coin. This level 10 talisman gives you short-lived invisibility when you roll initiative. Great for getting into the right position before striking, or escaping an encounter you triggered when scouting ahead of your party. In number 6, we have the Potency Crystal. This level 1 fluorite crystal doesn't retain its usefulness for more than a handful of levels. That doesn't diminish how useful it is to have in early game, however. The humble Potency Crystal is the MVP of the first few levels. In number 5, we have the Emerald Grasshopper. This emerald-studded grasshopper lets you jump high. Its utility is obvious even in late game. Additionally, you float a little bit before landing, so if you made it to 5th level without being able to handle flying enemies, this gives you one last chance to take them down. In number 4, we have the Gallows Tooth. This level 8 talisman imposes the flat-footed condition on one enemy and keeps it there till the end of your turn. Very useful for a rogue whose other tricks have failed. Before we move on to the top 3, I want to give an honorable mention to a few excellent talismans. The Mending Lattice is a shield bearer's best friend, but its uncommon rarity makes it hard to obtain. The Eye of Enlightenment provides great action economy, but many classes get built-in or optional features to achieve the same effects. The Owlbear Claw is a tempting, low-level talisman, but I just don't feel right taking it if the Potency Crystal is also an option. These have all been great talismans, but they didn't quite make the cut. In level 3, we have the Sharktooth Charm. This level 5 talisman gives your enemies an incentive to release you even if you fail your escape attempt. If you're playing a caster who values their acrobatics skill, this talisman is a no-brainer. In my experience playing casters, getting grabbed is one of the quickest ways to go from being a benefit to your team to being a liability. In number 2, we have the Retrieval Prism. This talisman allows you to summon an item chosen when you affix the talisman of no more than one bulk as a free action. I think we can all see this is meant to retrieve an item from your bags. However, its range creates an opening for shenanigans. The Retrieval Prism's only listed range limitation is that the item must be on the same plane as you. This causes extra-dimensional spaces, such as bags of holding, to be inaccessible to the talisman. At high levels, when the cost of these talismans is negligible, a party of adventurers could absolutely make chaos using them. But, considering its intended use is quite obvious, make sure to ask your GM before attempting to abuse this item. Finally, in first place, we have the Jade Bauble. This level 8 talisman magically draws the attention of all enemies within reach of your melee weapon, causing them to be flat-footed till the start of your next turn. At first, this seems to be very similar to the Gallows Tooth. So why is it number 1? In short, the range and duration make all the difference. The Gallows Tooth affects one enemy just long enough for you to make a few attacks. The Jade Bauble, on the other hand, affects all enemies you can reach for a long enough time that your entire party can benefit from the effect. A martial character wielding a reach weapon can use this talisman to disrupt an entire enemy group. This is a teamwork talisman, and for that reason, above all others, it deserves the number 1 spot on this list. Thank you all for visiting the realm. I have been your host, the Goat King, and as always, travel with loyal companions.